Hello, dear ones. It's Annette, your sister in sickness, here today to reflect on the question, what's it like to live with chronic illness? The Centers for Disease Control says that 6 in 10 Americans have a chronic disease, and 4 in 10 of us have 2 or more. So that means the majority of us are living the answers to this question. Are you one of us? Have you ever been on a difficult hike and thought that you were nearing the end? You believed that you had the reserves to make it, but now those reserves are used up and you're pushing well past what you imagined it would take to reach your destination. Surely you must be near the end, right? I mean, you have to be close. Now this has just turned into a slog. Just putting one foot in front of the other is getting harder and harder. Will this ever end? Have you ever experienced this? Well, this description for me captures some of what it's like to live each day with chronic illness. The state of surviving in perpetual pain and exhaustion, always having to push beyond what I feel capable of, and knowing that my reserves, any reserves I had, are gone. Were gone. They were gone years ago. And regardless, I must keep pressing on, day after day. Living this way, it's not just difficult, it's demoralizing. Makes me feel worthless sometimes. And unlike a hike, there isn't an end in sight. There isn't some glorious destination where I get to stop and take in some breathtaking view and head downhill for a pizza and a beer and a refreshing night's sleep. What I've learned is that my energy and my time are my most precious natural resources. That bears repeating. My energy and my time are my most precious natural resources. And I guard them. Being judicious with how I spend them is central to how I take care of myself. Imagine that someone with chronic illness or chronic pain, without chronic illness or chronic pain, woke from a refreshing night's sleep and a fully charged battery. A battery like the one on our cell phone, with like 5 bars of energy that they can spend throughout the day on the business of living. Perhaps it takes 1 bar to get through the morning routine with the family. Breakfast eaten, lunches packed, everybody dressed, out the door, dropped off at school, and getting herself to work. And so now it's 8:30 a.m. and she has 4 bars remaining. She goes to some meetings, perhaps handles a stressful situation with an employee, has lunch with a friend, and is 1 more bar down. And maybe that would have been 1.5 bars because of the stressful situation she dealt with. But going out with a friend energized her a bit, and so she gained 1/2 bar. You understand the picture I'm painting. Now, let's consider someone managing chronic pain and or chronic illness. And she may wake up after a typical night's sleep with only 2 bars of energy to expend for the whole day. And taking a shower perhaps takes a whole bar. And getting the kids fed and dressed might take both of those bars. Or seeing a friend might take a whole bar. And while the friend does feed her and feel very necessary, it also depletes energy and increases pain. It's this context that those of us with chronic illness have to manage each day and determine how we spend those precious few bars, figuring out how to carve out time to get some things accomplished and have some quality of life. Experiences of chronic illness vary widely, just as chronic illnesses and their impacts vary widely. And with most chronic illnesses, there are better days and harder days. So I've called this part 1 because we will circle back and discuss this question again and address it from different vantage points. I have made this video to just paint this picture from my first broad brush attempt to try to give you an illustration and an idea of what, from my perspective, I thought when I thought of the question, what's it like to live with chronic illness? But what about you? Tell me about your experiences. Send me an email or post your comments below or go over to my blog and share your thoughts. I will read every one of them, and I'd really like to know about your experiences, and I'll include some of your answers in my future post. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks in advance for your feedback, and I really look forward to being in touch. Thanks very much, and until we meet again, be well.